Look, what we
We'll
got
talk
up
about that
next?
alone. Like
What we got up
we got
next?
we got next week we got a what is it, a free
Woo-hoo.
show? This is a free show right here.
Fight night. Yeah.
It's a fight night. This number 2 Blaydes in the heavyweight division up against my main man,
My balls is hot.
Lewis. My balls is hot.
Derrick Lewis is gonna. Okay, so is this another one of those fights where it's like I'm super excited for this fight, but I'm also kind of afraid for Derrick Lewis?
I'm not afraid for Derrick Lewis. I think Derrick Lewis turned the corner in his last fight when he beat individual that's supposed to dominate him on the ground and put him in submissions. I feel like Derrick Lewis is at a point now where he understands that winning is the game and winning is the way he needs to play. And I feel like he's going to come into this fight and put Blaydes on his ass. That's all I'm going to say.
Alexi Olenek.
I think he's going to come in here and put Blaydes on his ass and he's going to knock him out. And I don't think it's going to be like a first round or second round. I feel like Lewis knows that he's going to have to go a little bit more of a distance in this because Blaydes is not somebody to play with. But I feel like Lewis has learned from his mistakes and he's in a win now mode because if Lewis wins this fight, he may get a fight with your boy Jon Jones.
Maybe.
He may get a fight with him, but he got to win this fight first.
He got to win this fight. So here's the thing. Yeah, with Alexi Olenek was different, but I would say Curtis Blaydes, I would put him more along the lines of like a DC type fighter. You know, Alexi ain't out here shooting double legs. So with that being the case, I'm like, man, I'm excited. I hope, you know, he goes out there, does well, performs well. Maybe he gets the W. We get a couple hot takes, you know, on the mic, because that'd be fun.
Man, that's what I love about Lewis, man.
But I don't know if he makes it out of this one.
If Derrick Lewis wins this fight, man, I know he's going to give me something good in the post-fight reactions and post-fight interviews. I know he's going to give me something good, and I hope he wins because he is what I like in a fighter post-fight, and Usman is what I don't like in a fighter post-fight. So Usman is the epitome of what I would like to see Lewis do inside the cage, but Lewis can't get to that level because Lewis is very good at one thing and he's not as good as another thing.
Hopefully he got his back fixed. I don't know.
Usman is very good in overall everything, and if he's not good in something, you can't get to that to exploit him in that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like Derrick Lewis has learned from his mistakes, and I feel like Lewis can come in and he can prove himself. And I'm hoping he does because he's at a point now where he's the main event in fight nights, and he may get to that point where he may be a main event on a card with Jon Jones. Man, I'm trying to tell you.
So how do you see? Let's jump over that, and then I'll read the rest of the card. How do you see a fight like that possibly going? If he wins this fight and gets to fight with Jon Jones, what happens?
Well, I mean, I feel like Jon Jones can beat him because he's got a speed advantage, and Jon Jones can put himself in a point where he can get that title match or title fight against Ngannou. Well, hopefully, I think Ngannou wins, but I just Jon Jones needs to fight somebody who is like upper top 5, and I feel like if Lewis beats Blaydes, he'll be in the top 5 at that point in time, so it'll be a legitimate fight for Jon Jones. And that being said, that'll put that fight at a 263 as a main event so that Dana White can be like, hey, I got Jon Jones as a main event, so he possibly can sell some tickets for that fight. That's what I'm looking for. And if Lewis can win, I feel like that Derrick Lewis name with that Jon Jones name may sell more tickets than a Blaydes versus Jon Jones. You see what I'm saying?
If Blaydes wins, they're not going to give Blaydes the fight. That's just all there's to it. Now, on the rest of the card, yeah.
I didn't see any other fights on there.
The co-main, Caitlin Vieira versus Yuna Kunitskaya. And Yuna Kunitskaya came into the UFC. She fought Cyborg at 145, and she fought Invicta at 145. And then she came in and she lost, but then she went down to 135, and I'm pretty sure she's like 3-1. And then Caitlin Vieira is the one that's been on this tear lately. So that'd be a good fight. But I'm gonna enjoy it. Kind of, sorta. Then Charles
Yeah.
Rosa versus Derek Minner, good. Alexei Olenek versus Chris Dukas, good. There's good fights, but it's like, okay, I need to be sitting down at the TV. What I'm saying is, what time the main card start? 8 o'clock. Okay,
8
cool.
o'clock.
So about 10
I'm tuning
o'clock.
in 10 o'clock.
About 10
Yeah.
o'clock, I need to start working my way to the TV. It's probably what's gonna happen.
I need to turn it on to make sure I'm not
Make
missing
it. I'm
anything.
gonna
But I'm
I'm gonna
not gonna
tune
pay
in.
attention.
Who fighting? All right. Well, I'll be back. And then if I just so happen to check social media and they be like, yo, these fights is fire, then I'll tune in. But I'm gonna let somebody else see that first. Is what's gonna happen.
Exactly. Hey, but look, before we go on to the BKFC 16, hey, who you got in the Blaydes versus Lewis, man? Because I got Lewis winning second round knockout. What you got?
If Lewis gonna win, it's gonna be a knockout. If Blaydes is gonna win, Blaydes might knock him out. But it's gonna be a mauling, and it's hard to go against the technical mauling, as opposed to having like, okay, I'm gonna need to hit you. But we saw that when Rodolfo Vieira lost. Anything could happen. So
Anything.
I want to see Derrick Lewis win, because it's the same thing in like a Conor McGregor situation. When Conor wins, everything just kind of like, oh man, everything's intriguing. Everybody's paying attention. Everybody's looking. Everybody's listening. If Derrick Lewis wins, there's so much that you can do with the heavyweight division, especially when you add Jon Jones to the mix and them getting together or anything like that. If Curtis Blaydes wins, I don't believe that it's going to like move the division like, no, I need to be sitting here watching it, even though he's a really good fighter. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who's going to win.